In Part 2, Chapter 1 of Crime and Punishment, panicked and feverish, Raskolnikov lies in bed for hours, but he suddenly realizes he forgot to hide the evidence from the crime. He stuffs the stolen items in a hole behind the wall of his room, then tears pieces of blood-stained fabric from his clothes and discovers a bloody sock in his boot. But by this point, Raskolnikov is so ill he can't stay awake to get rid of them, and he falls asleep gripping them in his hand. Nastasha and the porter bring him a summons to visit the local police. They laugh at the rags he clutches, not noticing they're stained with blood. Raskolnikov fears the police have discovered his crime and will search his room while he's out, yet he answers their summons. On the way to the police, he feels an urge to confess. At the police station, he speaks to the head clerk, Zamitov. Relieved to learn the summons is regarding his debt to his landlady, Raskolnikov changes his mind about confessing. Raskolnikov explains that he is poor and he should not owe anything. His landlady extended him credit because he planned to marry her daughter, but she died of typhus. After signing a promise that he will repay the debt, Raskolnikov again feels the urge to confess his crime rising up in him. However, he overhears that the two men who knocked on the pawnbroker's door just after the murder are being released. The police realize the murderer was in the apartment and escaped when the men left. Raskolnikov tries to leave, but faints. He blames it on being ill, but Ilya Petrovich, a police superintendent, seems suspicious. Still, the police let him go. In Part 2, Chapter 2 of Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov gets home. No one has searched his room. He rushes to throw the stolen items in the canal, but there are too many people around, so he hides the items under a large rock in a hidden courtyard of a decaying building. He then realizes he never even opened the purse or looked at the jewelry he stole. He feels more alienated than ever, feeling hatred for everyone around him. Feeling ill, he wanders to Razumikhin's. As soon as he gets to Razumikhin's room, he feels like leaving. He mumbles about wanting Razumikhin to help him find work, then changes his mind. Razumikhin, happy to see his old friend, offers to share some of his translation work with him, which pays in advance. Raskolnikov accepts, then declines, then leaves abruptly, angering Razumikhin, who thinks Raskolnikov has gone mad or is raving ill. Raskolnikov nearly gets trampled by a carriage in the middle of the road. The coachman whips him, making several people laugh. An elderly woman gives him a coin in pity. He throws the coin in the river in despair and delirium before he goes home. Later, he wakes up to hear Ilya Petrovich brutally beating his landlady. But when he wakes, Nastasha tells him this was only a dream. Raskolnikov is so sick, he's hallucinating in his dreamlike state.